meet you. Tyler, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Thank you so much. I hope you guys load it up. That's awesome. I mean, you came at like the perfect time. I had like 15, 20 people reach out about it. It's up on top as well. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Nice meeting you. Have a good rest of your night as well.
Hey, welcome in everybody. Today we have a beautiful session of the Deal Soldiers Mastering the Reselling. Um, I'm happy that everybody's here. This is a live session. First and foremost, I do want to thank Sean and Kathleen allowing us to put this together, allowing everybody to meet, adding more value to our membership, and um, hopefully I can teach you some things tonight. As well as thank you for all the developers and the hard work, making the tools run smooth, making sure that we do have that retail to resell on Facebook or eBay or any other means. Real quick, what we're going to cover today, we'll cover the reseller mindset, what it takes to source inventory, any pricing, where you're going to find those comps, how to master eBay, what eBay tips and tricks, what eBay's really looking for to push you to the top of the list. Shipping, I know shipping's a hot point, and when is it beneficial to ship an item versus wait a little bit on Facebook and try to get that local sale. Any return strategies, a lot of our arbitrage does come from big box stores like Lowe's, Home Depot, Target, Walmart that do have great return policies. We'll go over some pre-sale rules. That way, if it's an item that you buy before it's released, you know how to list it on eBay without violating anything or getting your listing taken down. We'll talk a little bit about Facebook Marketplace, any great tips for Facebook Marketplace, some cross-platform tips, and how to scale up. We all know that once you start getting a taste of reselling, you're going to want to do it in bigger amounts, and time is money. So we'll kick it off. So eBay versus Facebook Marketplace, the benefits of both. eBay is great because it has that nationwide reach, where Facebook is more localized. They do have the shipping option. I've had some luck with it. I do prefer just to do local buyers on Facebook. The eBay, you can ship it anywhere. Typically, I stay to the United States. The one caveat is eBay does have that 13% fees, where Facebook, there's going to be no fee. You just meet them in person, trade cash, trade a Venmo, and be on your way. Hey, welcome in, everybody. As I mentioned, this is a live session, so if you have any questions while we go, definitely pop them in chat. I'm going a little bit faster today just so we got a lot to cover, and I want to pack it in there. So what is reselling? So reselling is where you're going to buy something either at a lower price than you're able to sell it for, which will be your profit. It's called retail arbitrage. You've probably heard this buzzword in other means, but it's a fancy word just for really buying low, selling high. Exactly, Marianne. It's definitely addicting. So the real formula is just make sure your cost, so your sale price covers your cost, fees, shipping, supplies, and that there's profit left over for you. Other than that, if that formula doesn't work, it's not really beneficial for you, and you should change around what type of inventory that you're sourcing. Just keep in mind, as I said, that eBay fees at 13%, pretty standard across the board. Facebook, no fees. Always calculate your profits before you buy. A lot of times you can return it if you find out that the profit's not worth it or if it's not moving locally. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Typically, I aim for that 30 to 50% return on investment. That way, if I buy something for $100, I'm trying to sell it for at least 150 or 175. I'll definitely take less. So the way that I look at it is the higher value, the less of the ROI I'm looking for. But if I buy something for like $5, I want to make at least 10 from that. So it really based on the price that I buy things for. So keys to success. Obviously, knowledge is money. The more that you know, tips and tricks on the eBay platform, the better off you're going to be. And it's a learning process. So I know some people like myself has made mistakes on the first couple times, didn't take a profit or lost money, but it's a learning curve. And as soon as you start getting into a pattern, knowing what to look for, the money will just keep rolling in. Speed definitely matters. The faster you source an item, the faster you get it listed, the faster you ship it is all going to be beneficial for you. And consistent. Always be listing as much as you can. List daily, source weekly. Especially if it's a part-time gig. I know I like to go out like 1 to 2 times a week, source any inventory that I can grab, store it up, and get it listed as soon as I get home. Track everything. This is huge. This is where you're going to know if you're making a profit or not, if it's worthwhile, or this is where it's going to let you know to turn right at the next road just because you might be finding the wrong items or the wrong items are sitting in your basement for too long. So if you track everything, you'll get a history of what's selling this year. You also know what's going to sell next year and when it will sell. And then communication. As soon as somebody reaches out to you on Facebook Marketplace or somebody reaches out to you eBay, get back to them as soon as possible. This matters. I get a lot of positive feedback just about how I communicate. I always upload the tracking as soon as I have it. I always let the buyers know of any issues, or definitely communicate with the buyers. Hey Tyler, welcome in. So where to source? We're all here for a reason. We're all here for Deal Soldier. Deal Soldier is going to be the best way to source for you. It's where I source 99% of my inventory, as well as you can. Last year, my wife and I, we went to a garage sale, bought some sporting equipment for less than $1, sold a baseball bat that we bought for $1 for $189. So definitely, if you're out and about and you stop at the garage sale, you now have the mentality to know what to buy and sell, what's going to make money. Especially if you're only investing $1, it's okay to invest $1 for that chance of success. I've seen people buy liquidation pallets. Online arbitrage, Deal Soldier is great for this as well. And Facebook Marketplace, where you can buy something cheaper on Facebook because they're trying to get rid of it quickly and flip it. Let me switch real quick to the group. So we all know about the in-store clearance. That's what brings a lot of us to Deal Soldier. Hey Kathleen, welcome in. That's where you're going to be able to go from Walmart, go in store, pick up something super cheap, 75, 80% off, sell it online or sell it on Facebook Marketplace. There's another section I want to point out. It's going to be this online finds. This is great for eBay. A lot of these items are retail priced to resell at a higher amount. Every item that we give in here, we'll give you an example where the retail price is $29. You can resell it to $80 and $90. As well as local comps or eBay comps of that item actually selling. So you can see the success in it before you even buy it. And this is going to be a great section, especially for those limited releases where if it's a holiday items are great items to buy, or a limited release on a tumbler or a limited release on a Disney pin. We give you all the information, when it's going to drop, what the expected price is, and how much to sell it for. So definitely keep an eye on this channel. If you don't have this channel already selected in your notifications, turn the notifications on for this. I use this pretty regularly, and I find a lot of finds from this. So what you're looking for, the best items that sell are going to be the name brand items like Nike, Apple, Lego. Those name brand items already have name recognition, so when you list that on Facebook Marketplace or you list it on eBay, there's a good chance that somebody's already searching for that item. Hey, welcome in, welcome in. Discontinued items that are going to be no longer in store. A lot of times, you see it all the time. There's that favorite body soap that you have or that favorite fragrance from Bed Bath & Beyond that's no longer available. Well, within a few weeks, somebody really wants that item, and somebody is willing to pay you a premium for that. So that's a great item to keep. So if you know something's going to be discontinued and somebody uses it regularly, it's definitely a great item to purchase. Seasonal items, you'll see this every Christmas at Home Depot. Home Depot has a lot of seasonal items. We give you everything you need to know right before, too. You know what's going to be hot, what's going to be in demand. We're listing those viral videos, or the viral videos of the lights, or the viral videos of a haunted Mickey from Lowe's. We give you all this information of what's going to be seasonally hot. Valentine's Day, Halloween, Christmas are big ones. And then you can buy that and then flip it for a profit. You pay MSRP. I can tell you, we bought those stupid Debbie cakes, the lights that hang up on your wall. We bought, I think, 10 of them. Sold all 10 of them on eBay. No problem. Complete sets. Complete sales do very well. You'll see it with the Hot Wheels, where you collect 5 Hot Wheel sets and sell it as a complete set for more money than if you were to sell one item, or niche items like Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards are a great niche item that's doing very well. If you've been following the card market lately, League of Legends has their own Rift bundle, I believe, or Rift cards that are selling. You're always going to have the sports cards, the baseball, football, that all do very well. Niche is there's always a great find when you can get one of those collector items at retail. So what you want to avoid saturated items. And we'll kind of go over that today. You want to avoid items that don't have a recent sales history. Heavy items, because to ship out a heavy item is going to kill your profits. Restricted brands on eBay. I haven't ran into many of them, many of the items I've been able to, but and counterfeits. I never sell counterfeits. I try to steer away from counterfeits because it's messy when you're talking to people either locally or on eBay. Yes, I saw that. Riftbound League of Legends. I tried to get a box and I was unable to secure one. I know a lot of people looking for that. I appreciate that, Tyler. So eBay research. So what I did was I actually went shopping over the last weekend. If you've been in this group all week, you're gonna know those baby items are hot. Uh, let's take a look. If you look at the Victory Vault, and I'm gonna grab one of these items. I don't have my glasses on. My eyes are bad today. Victory Vault. So you hop in the Victory Vault. You're gonna see everybody is scoring baby items. Now that you got the baby items, how do you sell them? What's the best way to sell it? So let me give you an example. I pulled up one that I actually paid $3.50 for. This smart bouncer right here. Let's hop to the Walmart link. So right here, selling on Walmart.com for $34. I paid $3.50. I have a lot of wiggle room and profit here. So I'm going to take this item. I'm going to hop into eBay. And let's search it. Let's see what other people are selling it for. So the first thing I'll do is I'll take the item, make sure that there's a bunch of listings with it. So this is good. We see a bunch of listings with it. We see a whole price range from 34, 64, 29. What I want to do is I want to do price plus shipping, lowest first. So looking here, we have $30. It looks like there's only one item there. This person probably has multiple, but they're already at $35, $38. So that $35 mark that we're seeing with Walmart looks pretty consistent, but now the question is, does it sell? Let's check, sold items. So all I went to is on the left-hand side, there's going to be filters, show only. I click the sold items right here. This will give you real examples of items that sold. It looks like there's only been 2 sales so far, one for $30, so that person did sell one, and another one for $55 or best offer. So they might have taken an offer for a little bit less, but this is, I paid $3.50. It's not going to hurt me to sit on it for a little bit. I'm going to take this item. I'm going to take an example of one that sold, and I'm going to sell one like this. Now, because the item is brand new, eBay allows me to use the stock photos. So I'm going to go to that eBay list, or Walmart listing, hop in here, download all the images. If we have any questions in this process, definitely let me know. Now, have you guys been securing any items? Did you guys get any baby items out there? I know I've seen a ton of videos, a ton of content on them. Keep saving. Now, I purposely didn't list this one yet, just so we can use this as an example. All right, so I have the items. I'll come in here. Let's go here. Let's list these. Delete that one. And this is probably a better stock photo. Rearrange them in the order that you want people to see them. So it's going to import the title that the user used. I know this is a good title because it's already sold, but let's head back. I want to show, I know it's a later, but so title optimization, this is extremely important. You want to use the full space that you have. You want to use all 80 characters if you can. You want to include that brand because a lot of brands are searchable. You want to get the model number just in case they're searching for that model, the size, color, condition, brand new. Or if you really don't know what to title it, everybody knows ChatGPT. I use it. Everybody uses it. Let's go to that Walmart listing. Let's hop in ChatGPT. I'm going to say, what listing on eBay, what should the title and description be? So real quick, within a few moments, ChatGPT is just going to tell you what the title and description or what it recommends. You can kind of tweak it or use it as a basis. So right here, they give us this title. Let's take a look. Very similar to what they used, a little bit longer. And I used every single one of the 80 characters. ChatGPT already knew that we're looking for that 80 character limit. Then we're going to go, so it featured vibration. Enter the UPC. Let's just grab the UPC from it. The more info, the better, because this is everything that everybody can search on. Let's see, it's an infant. The color is gray. Music. All right, model number. Let's see what we got for a model number. Does it have one? Doesn't look like it has one. There's a baby trend, right? Yeah, baby trend. Perfect. I'm going to list it as new. Now let's see what it says to use as a description. Let's copy this description. Now you can tweak this as you see fit. I'm just going to go in here and use this for a placeholder. I'll probably go back and edit and read through it. but I'm just going to use that as my description just to go through it. So when we were looking at the prices, we saw between 30 and 35. Because I'm going to offer 1-day shipping and I'm going to boost it, I'm going to try to aim for a little bit more than the market range. So I'm going to aim for, say, $34.99. Definitely put your size and dimensions if you have it. The box is downstairs. I'm not going to measure it right now. I'll come back and edit this later. The other thing I want to make sure everybody uses is this right here. So you do want to advertise, or you want to put an ad on your listing. I recommend general. They're always going to give you a high rate. I use 2%. It's the minimum that's technically required. And the reason why I do 2% is by just adding an ad, I'm already above everybody in the listings that hasn't used an ad. As well as when somebody searches this item, it allows that search to appear twice. Yeah, exactly. So as 1130 said, outside of the title, the eBay AI tool can also create a description for the item based on the title. But definitely go read through it and alter it. I can click that button so we can see what it would design for us. So I set the rate for 2%, so that's going to allow me to be double searched. And now I list it. I think everything else checked out, right? And within a few moments, my item, if this is your first item is listed on eBay. And I see a little over half of you has sold on eBay before, so that means half of you are learning this for the first time. Any questions, pop them in chat. We're here for you. So now that I have the eBay item listing, let's go back to where we were here. So the eBay research, so you saw how we sorted by what has sold and what hasn't sold yet and the prices. Now let's do a little bit of Facebook research. So let's hop into Facebook Marketplace. Do I have it open yet? Doesn't look like it. Hop into Facebook. So it's search. Let's go to the Walmart and just search by the title. So Smart Steps Infant Bouncer. Let's see who's got it listed in my area. So I'm seeing a bunch of used ones for $20. I'm going to beat all the used ones all day. Everybody wants brand new, especially if I can keep it under $30, it looks like. So it looks like similar comps. Here's, I think, the same exact one for $10, but used. I know for myself, I love brand new. So it looks like I have a good chance if I list this new on Facebook Marketplace that somebody will be interested, especially when I paid $3.50. I can list it, say, for $25 and no shipping, no fees on top of that. Facebook is probably a good avenue for me to list as well. So we checked our local pricing, and just by seeing the amount of bounces on there, there's a good chance that probably sells fast. So what's considered strong demand? 10 plus sales. We only saw 2 for it, so we know it's going to move slower, but I paid very little for it, so it's okay if it moves a little bit slower. So 10 plus sales in 30 days means it would have strong demand. We saw 5 to 10 sales means it's good demand. You're probably going to sit on it for a couple of weeks at max, if not sell it sooner. Under 5 sales, it's a slow mover. I've seen things sell 3 to 6 months before. Just keep it listed. It'll auto renew every single time it's up, and hopefully it sells fairly quick for you. How do I secure items? For example, I searched an item at Walmart 40 minutes away from me. Do you have to keep looking till you find it or closer to me? Is there anything faster? Definitely using the Deal Soldier tools. If you go back in my previous video 2 weeks ago, we actually go through the Deal Soldier group for you. So every single month we have Mastering the Basics. We go through the whole Deal Soldier group, turbo search, explain what is useful, how to find the items. But a lot of times it's searching on the Deal Soldier group, finding a store that's local to you or one that you're willing to drive to that has a good amount of stock in play, and then heading. Like we said, time is of the essence. The faster you can do it, the better off you will be. But if you have a store that has 6 or more stock, there's a good chance that item is going to be readily available for you. And do not be afraid to ask the employees. The employees are there to help you. If you get a rude employee, just move on to the next one. Share the UPC with them. Say, hey, I looked on the floor. I noticed there's none on the floor. Do you mind just checking on the back for me? And 95% of the time, they'll go out there and help you. But if you open up a chat support ticket, we can dive deep further into this after this call, or one of one of our staff can help you out as well. We can help you find those first couple items for you so you can kind of see what you're looking for and get started. All right, so we talked about the title optimization, why it's important to use every single character you can. Those are going to be, and the main reason is they're all going to be search terms that people are going to be searching on inside of eBay. It's kind of like SEO for websites. You want as many hits as you can. That way you're at that top of the list. So item specifics is critical. You notice when I was listing, let's go into one. My store, selling. Just pick one. This right here. So this is the item specifics. You want to fill out as much as you can about the item that you have. These are all going to be search terms that people are able to search by. So somebody searches 2000 pressure washer, there's a good chance that this one will show up in that search. So definitely fill out as many specifics. I see way too many people skip over. And I know it's time consuming in some ways. You'll get a hang of it of using somebody else's listing and it gives you the base of what they used. But it's very important because that's search terms. That's going to give you free visibility without paying for it. If you can, require the brand, the condition is in, color, size. This is all required for eBay. So make sure if you don't put it in the title, put it in the description, the brand, the condition, color, size. And the more specific you are, the better visibility. You'll notice when you're searching on Google and you're searching for an item, eBay listings come up. That's because eBay is parsed by Google and other search engines to find these items. And then the quick tip, you saw what I used. Sell one like this. That'll pre-fill as much information as somebody else did. So if I do, say, the 1800 Ryobi pressure washer, and this is somebody else's listing. I actually got 18 of these at one of my stores. Because I have it listed, it's not going to allow me to do it. Let's just pick something else. So we'll just pick any pressure washer. At the bottom, sell one like this. As soon as I click that, it's going to autofill as much information as that user has filled out. And that's a way to have a lot of this pre-filled for you. So it already had the UPC, the power source, and the other information. And then if I have anything else, I can pop that in here. If it's a two-stroke, the fuel capacity. And the more that you put in here, the better. So photos. eBay, you want to use 6 to 12 photos. The more photos, the better. Everybody will search through the photos to see. If it's a used item, make sure you're using your own photos. If you're going to add stock photos, it would be the used photos first and then the stock photos after. If you can, show all angles, especially if it's used or an open box. You want to show all angles. That way they can see the box's condition when they pick it up. That way they're not going to ask for a return as soon as they arrive because it's not as expected. You want to use a clean background. I know a lot of people will remove the background. A plain clean background's fine. Make sure you have good lighting. It's not, if somebody's scrolling through and they see somebody with poor lighting or the box is all shaded and then somebody has a bright lighting, there's a good chance they're going to pick the other box before they pick yours. And then include any labels. So pre-sale rules. So this is something that's going to be released that hasn't been shipped yet. Say if you are buying the Disney pins. As an example I used last time, you're buying the Disney pins, you buy them today, they don't ship for another 2 weeks. That's going to be considered a pre-sale. So the way that pre-sale works for eBay is you cannot list anything that you can't ship within that 30 business days. So that means within 30 business days of me listing it, even though I don't have the item yet, I can list it for sale as long as I can ship it. You must add pre-sale in the title and the description. So make sure at the end of it, like if we go to eBay, you're going to notice pre-sale. And you'll start picking up on this as you start listing more on eBay. A lot of people are going to use the pre-sale, just like the new Pokemon. Pre-sale, as long as they're getting this within 30 days or within compliance of eBay. Pre-sale, and then if you go in, there's going to be a pre-sale in the description as well. So the item is pre-sale. Sorry about that. The item is pre-sale, and you're also going to put the release date in there. So the date that you can ship it or the release date. That way everybody is aware of when they're expected to get this item. And just by doing that, you're going to stay in the compliance. include the exact ship date and set extended handling time in your settings. So what that means is, when we went through a listing before, I had the 1 day, I was going to ship it out the next day. So if I list a new item, and say for an example, this is one of those Pokemon cards. Let me just go off of a pre-sale just so it's quicker to show you instead of filling things in. So one like this. Edit policies. So you notice I have 1 day priority. That's just because I ship this out USPS priority in most cases. I'll change this based on if it's a heavier item. I'll show you the shipping weights either where it's recommended, but heavier items I'll typically use FedEx or UPS. So right here. So what this means, handling time. So 1 business day. This means if somebody buys this today, I will ship this out by tomorrow. Now for a pre-sale item, you're going to want to use that 30 days if it's within that 30 days. So say if I buy an item and I can't ship it for 28 business days, I'm going to use the 30-day handling time. That means within that 30 days, I'm going to take that package and bring it to the post office to ship it out, or bring it to UPS or FedEx. And this is extremely important for all pre-sales because eBay will ding you if you do it too many times where you have a 1 day handling time, but you can't ship it out for 3 or 4 days. That'll go against your account. So you want to make sure you keep the handling time as accurate as possible. And this is business days, so eBay's business days are considered Monday to Friday. So as long as you can ship it within that 1 business day, I recommend doing 1 because that'll boost your listings. But if you're starting out fresh and you have a little bit of nerves, you can do 3 days as long as you can ship it out within that 3-day handling time. So there are advantages to using eBay shipping. eBay does automatically insure theirs. We'll go through that in a little bit. But typically myself, if Pirate Ship is significantly cheaper, I will use Pirate Ship or Easy Ship or any of the other shipping services out there. I know some people use ShipStation because they ship a lot through TikTok, Facebook, as well as eBay, and they just like keeping everything unified. Shipping is going to be one of those things. Everybody's going to do it a little bit differently, but we'll go over the typical route for shipping. So in hand, this is a power keyword. You add this to your title, and people are going to recognize that. So in hand, ships today, ready to ship same day. These are power titles. If you can have enough space to add this in your title and you're able to do this, that's going to give you sales over somebody that may be listing lower than you. So shipping strategy. You always make sure you weigh and measure before you're listing if you can do it. This will keep your shipping costs down, especially if you're charging the user shipping. It'll give them the proper shipping rate. eBay labels saves you about 30 to 50%. Free shipping is going to rank you in their algorithm. It's going to move you at the top above others without free shipping. So it gives you that free ranking. And then upload your tracking. So if you are going to use Pirate Ship, you're going to use a different shipping service. As soon as you get that tracking number, upload it to eBay. That will help you out. A lot of times what I've noticed is that 3 pounds ground advantage under 3 pounds, ground advantage is going to be significantly cheaper. That 3 to 5 pounds priority UPS ground are going to be similar. Definitely price it out. But a lot of times I'll switch between priority and ground, especially based on if it's going to be something that's going to sell local or something that's going to ship further out. And then anything over 5 pounds, I find UPS and FedEx are always going to beat USPS. So return strategies, top-rated sellers, the account status is going to be based on metrics. No returns are required for top-rated sellers. To keep the top-rated seller. But if you are a top-rated seller and you want to be top-rated plus, and this is after you meet their recommendations, you can do a per listing opt-in, but you do need to accept returns. You have to have 1 day handling time and free 30-day returns, but they give you a 10% discount fee on your fees. So a 10% fee discount. And I'll show you how to check your status if you go into selling. And as you approach this and you have more questions, open up a chat support. We can definitely answer any questions you have on becoming a top-rated seller. I think when you first start selling on eBay, You get paid as soon as it gets delivered or the next day after delivery. And then as soon as you become a standard account, you'll get paid, I think, on the next day or the next day after they purchased it. When the funds are settled, you'll get paid. And then once you become a top-rated seller, you'll get automatic boosting on some listings, as well as a top-rated seller plus, where you'll get the extra 10% on your fees. So performance, where are we? Seller level. So if you want to check your seller level, you just go to seller level. You can see top rated, and this is where you would see standard, or I don't remember what they called it before standard, but this is where you're able to see your seller level. So returns, offer free returns, a lot of times collectibles, vintage, books, media, home goods, items over $100, high margin. If you, sorry, I have a lot of thoughts in my head, and I'm butchering how I want to say it. Hey Zoe. So it's beneficial to offer free returns, especially if it's a collectible or vintage, as long as it's not one of those items where it's going to be controversial if it's damaged or they're trying to scam you. I've had a lot of good luck doing for books, media. Very rarely do any returns come back for any books or media. Very rarely any returns for home goods or items over $100. Typically, if somebody's buying that, it's something they want. Where I like to skip the free returns is going to be clothing and shoes. A lot of people love to wear it for an event and then return it the next day. I want to avoid that as much as possible. Electronics, some people beat the electronics and say it's broken after they used it and ask for a return, or designer items where they scuff it, and or as soon as that designer item is opened, it's harder to resell. Items under $20, the free returns, it's typically not worth it because it's going to cost you more for that shipping label to send back to you than it is going to be than you're going to make on the item, or any low margin items as well. When it costs you more to ship it back, it's not worth adding any free returns. Facebook Marketplace. Exactly what 1130 said. Definitely document the packaging process, especially if it's a high demand item. I know when I shipped out a graphics card, I actually videotaped the whole process of packaging up the graphics card, the box after. I took a recording of me dropping it off at the post office, and I made sure it was signed delivery. So anything that's going to be high value, I will require signed delivery every single time. I'll mark in my listing that I recorded the process of the packaging, and that we had some returns on baby gates last year from Home Depot. Home Depot gave us a full refund. So what Marianne's saying, we sold a bunch of baby gates from Home Depot. We bought the baby gates for a penny to $1. I think some baby gates we might have paid $20. We sold them on eBay for $70 to $80, and we had some returns on them. We took those returns, we took it back to Home Depot and got our full money back. We didn't care about the penny or the dollar, but the ones that we paid $30 to $35 for, I think we got 3 or 4 of them out of the maybe 20 or 25 of them that we sold. We just returned right back to Home Depot and got our money back. So why Facebook Marketplace? Obvious reasons. There's a billion monthly users. I don't know anybody that doesn't have a Facebook account. There's going to be no fees on that local pickup, quick cash. You're not waiting for any payments. You're not waiting for any money to clear. Heavy items, way too much to ship. I know we bought a ton of strollers. We're going to hopefully push those through Facebook Marketplace if we can, and fast flip. So yeah, I list it today. I can sell it today and grab money right away. And definitely, if you have any questions on anything that I'm mentioning, just pop in chat. Facebook photos. So Facebook real photos. Photos are going to be the best conversion for you in Facebook. What I typically do is I'll take a photo of the front of the box, the back of the box, because it's already packaged. I'm not going to take it out of the box for photos, but at least they can see that it's brand new in box. So I'll take the photos front, back. I'll take a 360 video. Facebook definitely loves videos. They'll boost you to the top of the list if yours has a video and somebody else doesn't. Keep it as a clean background as you can and from multiple angles. Photograph everything. So if it's an open item or an open box, and you can take a picture of the inside, photograph that, let them see the condition. This is going to help you out. So Facebook has a little bit different than eBay. The best posting times, and think about it on your day-to-day when you're browsing Facebook, 7 to 9 in the morning before you're either at work or while you're drinking your cup of coffee. Lunchtime, somebody may be death scrolling through TikTok or scrolling through Facebook during lunch just to eat up some of that time that they have left. And then 6 to 10 is a great peak time to post. That's a lot of times somebody will be either putting the kids to bed, laying down on the couch, or just browsing Facebook, seeing what everybody's up to, and then seeing those items. So if you could post in this time window, this is going to give you the best visibility. What pricing do you use for strollers? Close to MSRP? So last year, we were not close to MSRP. This year, everything we're pricing out is actually very close to MSRP. For an example, we picked up, I'll show you. And I'll show you how I got the pricing. So we picked up these Jeep side-by-side double shoulders for $44. We sold one of them for $109, or $100. I'm sorry. We sold one of them for $100, pretty close to MSRP, and that was on Facebook Marketplace. But if you look, Walmart's only selling it for $109. Now let's take this item. And I think when I searched this on eBay, there wasn't a bunch of sales. But what I did notice was they were selling for 150. Yeah, 158, 226. Let's look at shipping plus Lowe's first. So it looks like the cheapest is $158, including shipping. Let's see if any sold. So December, so last month, one sold for $160. Looks like a little bit different of a model. This one has padding. 160, 160. This one, very similar to the Jeep, but it's just their Delta branded, $90. So I've been able to stay close to the MSRP. So we were able to make double of what we spent for the Jeep stroller, and then we have about, I think, 5 more to sell. So let's take this same stroller. We'll go to Facebook. We'll just search this on Facebook. Yeah, I mean, I think these are Bob's. They're not comparative. Looks like this one's shipping that 154. So looking at Facebook, I see a used one for 60. I see another one for this is actually our listing right here. So this is us for 100. But I'm not seeing a ton of them, so I'm going to keep them higher. If they don't, we just listed them today. So if they don't sell today, we already sold one. If they don't sell today, maybe next week we'll drop it by $20 and see if we get more bites. Always renew, always update the listing as much as you can. Facebook every single week allows you to renew your listing, and then after so many renews, it will delist and relist, and that'll just bump you right to the top. But what we've seen with the strollers is a lot of the times has been allowing us to stay close to the MSRP, which is great. So quick replies. You're going to know a lot of people on Facebook are tire kickers. They love to ask a lot of questions. You want to be as short and quick as possible. So if somebody says, is this available? A nice response is, yes, when can you pick it up? Keep putting the ball in their court of when they're going to grab that. So will you take less? Just say, what do you have in mind? Again, you threw the question back at them. Low ball offer. The lowest, if say you have it listed for $100, somebody says, I can do 20. You just say the lowest I can do is 80. The lowest I can do is 100. Be firm on that price, stick to it. And then if they agreed on the price, a lot of times you'll notice some people don't show up. So you just say, great, does CVS in your town work? And a lot of times that has converted people from the iffy on the edge to, hey, I really am going to buy this. So Facebook safety. I'm sure everybody knows about this. Meet in public, well-lit areas. A lot of police stations. I know my local one has cameras on 2 spots that allows you for trade-offs, just like Facebook Marketplace, or they were originally for Craigslist. Daytime meetups, typically based on the area. I do meet up a lot at night. I know, especially when 5 o'clock after work is dark. I'll pick well-lit areas like CVS, Dunkin' Donuts is open 24 hours, the police station. And then I typically only take cash or verified payments. The 3 that I only take is cash, Venmo, or Zelle. Cash is always king. After cash, I'll always say, hey, do you have Zelle? And if not, Venmo is the last resort. I won't take Cash App or any of the other payment methods out there. I'll never accept a check, and I'll never accept a gift card. That's just asking for trouble. They could have wrote down the numbers or canceled the check before you get it, or even have a fake check. So Typically, I'll list on both platforms. I'll list on Facebook. I'll list on eBay. If it's a high demand item, like one of those pre-sale items we were talking about before, I'll also list on Mercari or any of the other platforms. Poshmark if it's clothing. Um, Cross-list it as soon as it sells. Just remember to go back and remove that listing. I've been guilty in the past where I've sold something on Facebook, forgot to remove it off eBay, and for some reason within the same day that eBay listing wants to sell. So eBay is going to be that collectible vintage. That's where you're going to get the top dollar for them. They're going to move a lot slower on Facebook. There's going to be more demand on eBay, especially because a lot of people can buy from Europe if it's a collectible item, and eBay just has you use their international shipping, so it doesn't cost you any more to ship it to their warehouse, and they'll be the ones that do the leg from their warehouse to Europe. Niche rare items are great for eBay. Brand name clothing. Believe it or not, I used to not sell any of my clothing. Last year was the first year that we sold some of the North Faces that I had, and they did very well. And electronics, great for eBay. Definitely what's better for Facebook is going to be furniture, the heavier items, the large appliances, exercise equipment. I saw exercise equipment was down to like 25 cents a pound. People were flipping it for $1 a pound on Facebook. Kid stuff and toys, I have had almost no luck on eBay with it unless it's a hot demand item. A lot of times that'll flip on the Facebook Marketplace. And then any local items. So top rater seller, we talked a little about this, how to get meet eBay's demand. You got to have 100 transactions within the year, have over 1,000 sales, have less than a 0.5% defect rate, below 3% missed shipping rate or late shipment rate. And what that means is if you say your handling time is 1 day and you're going to drop that off at the post office in 1 day, have less than 3% late shipment of dropping it off at the post office or dropping it off at UPS. You need UPS, FedEx, or USPS to do that first scan, and then make sure that your tracking is uploaded on time. All very easy to do. This will all come natural as you move on, and becoming a top-rated seller will definitely help you in the process of when people will see your item versus others. They're going to put a top-rated seller before a new account, especially if the pricing are very similar. Do we have any questions? Anything that I missed or you want me to touch base on? Hopefully I answered a lot of your questions today. If you do have any questions, you're never alone. Just hop into the Deal Soldier group. On the left-hand side, you're going to go right to the top, chat support. As soon as you hit this chat support button, one of our live staff, no bots, all live staff, will be with you momentarily. You're going to notice as soon as I click that green button, it opened up a chat right below that with the one next to it. Here's my name. I'm going to click on that, say, hey, I watched your YouTube video. What's the best way to sell strollers? So just by typing that in there, somebody will be with you momentarily. And you're always going to get a live person. So I want to say our response time, I don't think I've ever seen a response time less than 3 minutes, and 95% of the time is within 30 seconds. So you're definitely going to get a fast response. The only time it may be a little bit slower is 2, 3 a.m., but somebody will get right with you in the morning. So there's no dumb questions. This can be anything from, hey, I saw on Sean's video that he was securing razors. Where do I find those razors? What's the UPC of those razors? What's the best way to offload these heavy items? What other apps are people using to sell? So Facebook, eBay are the two main ones. Then you have Mercari. I can show you real quick. Mercari is great for collectibles. I actually steered away from Mercari when they were going through the whole transition of who's paying fees. It started to pick up traction again. I know they lost a lot of trust when they were the seller pays the fees and the buyer pays the fees, and now it's kind of mixed. But this is great for collectible items. This is going to be great for those you buy at a retail price, you resell for a higher price. Trading cards, high demand items. Mercari is a great market for that. I believe you also have Poshmark. Poshmark is great for clothing. Can't really show you without logging in. To be honest, I don't sell a ton of clothing, so I don't really use my Poshmark anymore. If I do, I use my wife's. But Poshmark is going to be great for the handbags, clothing. If you go to TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and you pick up any of the high demand items there, that's going to be a great place to list those types of items. And those are typically the main ones I use. I know some people will use Depop as well. And this is going to be another clothing, vintage look. This will be similar to Poshmark. Poshmark, you're going to notice a lot of bots. Depop, I've had a couple good successful sales offloading some of the North Faces that I had. So I notice a lot of my items in my area are not on clearance yet. Is there a way to get notified when they do go on sale in my area, or do you need to continue doing the turbo search on the items? So a lot of the times you'll start getting a pattern. So I can tell you my stores, my Walmart is typically 2 to 3 weeks behind from when Deal Soldier first pings the notification. A lot of it will be rescanning. If you have turbo search, what I do is I create lists, and then I'll go through the lists and scan each item every Monday or Tuesday because I don't want to miss any high demand items. You also have local AI. If you're part of the group, you've been with us for longer than 7 days, you left a review. It's in beta right now, but you have the local AI where you can do a Walmart search based on store. So you have your closest, I think, 10 stores. You can do a search store by store and find out every single clearance item in those stores. That's another way that you can catch when the drops are in your area. But in turbo search, typically I create a favorites list, and this is going to be a separate account than the one that I use. And I'll have a favorite list, and I'll go through here, and every Monday or Tuesday, either when I'm drinking my coffee or I'm in a meeting at work, I'll just click search now and go one by one and see if any of the items started dropping. And then as soon as an item is lower than the MSRP, you're going to notice it's going to almost drop every single week. So every Monday, Tuesday, you'll notice it'll continue to drop. So once you recognize that pattern, you'll kind of know what to look for. Do you use any cross-listing software? So I have, and I do. I've used Vendo. There's a lot of them out there. Great, now I don't know the name. It's a favorite in my other browser. Check what it was. The issue with them is if you're not buying and selling a lot, Vendo. I forgot the extra 0, so here we go. So I use Vendo. The one thing I notice is if you're not buying and selling a lot online, this is going to cost you a lot more than it's worth. I believe it's $20 a month or maybe $25 a month. But what it allows you to do is you import a template. So you import, say, one of these strollers that I had. You select where you want to sell it. If you want to list it on Shopify, Whatnot, Grailed, eBay, Vinted, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, Etsy, Depop. These are all the stores supported by this platform. And this will answer the previous question of what other places are there to list your items. A cross-lister is great because once it notices something sold on eBay, it'll mark it as sold on Facebook Marketplace. But it does come at a cost. So if you're only listing 1 to 3 items a month, it's not going to be worth it. If you're listing 30, 40, 50 items a month, that's when it's going to be worth using a cross-listing platform. How do I package larger items like strollers? Do you put a label on the outside box? So depending on the box, if the box is sturdy enough, I will put a label on that box and ship it in the original box. Another way I've seen other people do is cut up boxes, make a makeshift box over it if it's one of those flimsy boxes or it's not in a box. As well as something we've done in the past, we've actually saran wrapped large coolers. Somebody wanted to pay for it to be shipped. I want to say it was like Colorado. They were buying one of the 48 quart moose jaw coolers, and they were willing to pay the shipping on it. So we saran wrapped the cooler itself so it didn't get damaged in shipping, and then threw a label on the saran wrap. Great question though. So a lot of times for the sturdier boxes, I know the Jeep boxes, Jeep Solar boxes, I'll actually throw a label on that and ship it out. Did I answer everybody's questions? Do we have any other last minute stragglers before we close out for the night? As I mentioned, never alone. Don't be afraid to open that chat support. There's no dumb questions. Thanks everybody for spending the last 45 minutes with me. Hopefully you learned something from it. If there's something else you want me to touch bases on or another topic you want me to cover in the next live, we're running these every single month. So we run 2 sessions a month right now. We're running the Mastering the Basics. We're going to go through the group, let you know the hot channels to get. If you missed that this month and you're on one of the free trials, you can pop in the YouTube where you found this. And you'll be able to catch all the previous YouTube videos. These are recorded. They will be posted. I do have handouts for everybody too that'll be attached to the event inside of the Deal Soldier. I believe in the events there should be the handouts as well as Deal Soldier training. Let's see, and we can move it to the top for you right here. So we have the handouts and the slides. So I have all the slides that I used. I have a quick PDF handout for you, as well as the outline that goes over all the slides. Thanks everybody for spending the last 45 minutes with me. I hope you all have a great night.